Good morning, tiny house people in Australia. I'm really looking forward to starting today. I've just dropped kids off at school and this is, I guess, my first day working in tiny home rolling pastures. I've been working on it for a couple of years and engaging builders and contractors to get work done. However, today's the first day I'm actually working in the business as an employee, I guess, of the company. So this will be interesting, and I'm really looking forward to getting my hands dirty, so to speak, and sourcing some fantastic materials that I've seen recently, as well as building the business, just dedicating myself to it rather than finding time where I can to put in a small concentrated effort. So I'm looking forward to that approach. Also, I welcome your questions. If you've got any questions about tiny houses on wheels, how they work, what you can do with them, what you can't do with them, let me know. I'm really keen to find a question I can't answer, because then I can dig even deeper and find the answer to that question. That's exciting for me. I like doing that sort of stuff. So please send me any questions you have that you'd like answered about tiny homes. I can't answer, I won't answer your specific region's council bylaws and so forth. They'll all be there for you to have a look at, and I have a blanket, I guess, response to council bylaws anyway, but my message is fairly clear. Just do it. If you want to live in a tiny home on wheels, you do that. Just go ahead and do it. You can always, always bend over for the council at a later stage if that's what you're inclined to do. You don't have to do that from the start. But why not see if you can live the way that you want to live, first of all, without asking permission from anyone to live how you want to live. You can always ask for forgiveness later, or with a tiny house on wheels, you can simply move. So I do think that the sharing economy is playing a bigger part in today's world, and I think land can also be viewed as a commodity or as a resource to be shared. Why not share the land? Why not share the burden associated with the land, as well as share the benefits that land can bring? So what I want to focus on just for a moment is living in a tiny house on a block of land that you don't own. Now, there are plenty of community notice boards, Facebook notice boards, and that sort of thing, where we've got landowners and people with tiny houses on wheels coming together to connect and say, hey, I want someone to live on my land as a caretaker, and someone else say, well, I have a tiny home on wheels, I can do that for you. Or we have people with a tiny house saying, hey, look, I'd like a piece of land to put my tiny house on. And then landowners will put their hand up and say, yeah, come and check out this place, it's really nice. I could do with a hand with this aspect of farm life, or I'd like some cash for that particular service, and people can find some common ground there. It takes a little bit of work, but you can do it. So I can see what benefits would attract landowners to tiny house on wheels dwellers on their property. Not only the monetary aspect, but also the physical labour, or the caretaker aspect, or a combination of all. You know, there's plenty of reasons why people would welcome tiny house dwellers on their land, and they've been doing so for many years. But you have to try, you know. I don't think people should be complaining about not having a tiny house and identifying the reason holding them back as, well, I don't know where to put it. Where would I put my tiny house on wheels? I don't think people can complain about that and still not have tried to find somewhere. I mean, if you're going to complain about it, at least be trying to find somewhere you can put a tiny house on wheels. Now, having a tiny house on wheels professionally built can take 2 or 3 months, or less or more. So, with only a few months up your sleeve, it does make sense to find a tiny house spot before you build, but I wouldn't let that hold you back. You can find one after you've started building. It really doesn't take that much time. I've spoken to lots of landowners who are very keen to have tiny houses on land on their property and make an income from the rental, just as an Airbnb or you know, something to accommodate an enterprise they already have. Like they might do weddings, or you know, I've spoken to people who have healing centres, retreats, and that sort of thing. So there's lots of reasons people want tiny homes on wheels on their land. They can always wheel on and wheel off just as easily. I'm happy to work with people on lease arrangements and agreements. I think that's something that needs some standardisation or some work there. But don't complain about not being able to live the lifestyle you want to live in a tiny home on wheels when you haven't tried to find land. It's out there. There's lots of it.